What if I told you there's a $1 trick and something the Amish have been using for over 100 years that stops mice dead in their tracks? Not just traps, one or two, stops the whole infestation and the pest control industry. They absolutely do not want you to know this exists. Because here's the thing. The average American family spends anywhere from $300 to $600 every single year on exterminators. Monthly contracts, bait stations, chemicals. And you know what? The mice come back anyway. Every single time. But deep in rural Pennsylvania, in communities with no hardware stores and no exterminator on speed dial, families have been solving this problem for generations with something you can buy for less than $1 at any grocery store. I tested this myself. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, exactly how to use it, and this is the part most people miss, exactly where to put it so it actually works. Stick around because I'm also going to show you a bonus trick at the end that makes this method 10 times more powerful. You don't want to skip that part. Okay, so let's talk about what most people do when they find a mouse in the house. First thing, they run to the store and grab a pack of snap traps, maybe some glue boards. They set them up behind the fridge under the sink and they catch 1 or 2 mice. They think, problem solved. 2 weeks later, more mice. So then they call an exterminator. The guy shows up in a van, walks around for 15 minutes, drops some bait stations in the corners, and hands you a bill for $200. He tells you to sign up for their quarterly plan, another $80 every 3 months. Just to be safe, he says. And listen, I'm not saying exterminators are bad people. Some of them do good work. But the business model? It's not designed to fix your problem permanently. It's designed to keep you calling back. Here's why none of that stuff works long term. Mice are not stupid. They're actually incredibly adaptive animals. They learn to avoid traps after other mice get caught near them. They develop resistance to certain bait chemicals over time. And the biggest problem of all? You're treating the symptom, not the cause. You're catching mice, but you're not stopping mice from wanting to come inside in the first place. That's the whole game. And that's exactly what this old Amish method does differently. So, where does this come from? Let me give you a little background. A few years back, I was visiting a small community sale out in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, classic Amish country. And I got talking to this older gentleman, mid-70s, big white beard, the whole picture. We started chatting about homesteading and keeping a clean property, and I mentioned I'd been having a rough time with mice getting into my garage every fall. He kind of laughed and said, "We never had that problem." I asked him what they did, and he told me it wasn't some elaborate system. No chemicals, no fancy devices, just a handful of simple, cheap, natural materials placed in very specific ways around the property. He said his grandmother used the same method, probably her grandmother before that, and it makes total sense when you think about how Amish communities operate. They can't just call a pest control company. They rely on what works, passed down through generations. They don't keep things around that don't perform. If it didn't work, it would have been dropped a long time ago. Now, here's the thing about why this information disappeared from mainstream use. Around the 1940s and 50s, when chemical pest control started booming, a lot of this old folk knowledge just got buried. Companies had a product to sell. Natural remedies weren't profitable, so they got labeled as old wives' tales or unscientific. But science has actually caught up. And researchers have confirmed that the active compounds in several natural substances are legitimate neurological and olfactory repellents for rodents. In plain English, they mess with the mouse's sense of smell so badly that the mouse refuses to enter the area entirely. That's not a trap. That's a force field. And the best part? It costs next to nothing. All right, let's get into it. Here's the full method, step by step. The core ingredient is peppermint oil. Now, before you roll your eyes, I know you've probably heard about peppermint oil before, but here's what nobody tells you. It's not just about putting a few drops somewhere and hoping for the best. The application is everything. And that's where most people completely fail. What you'll need, 100% pure peppermint oil. Not a blend, not a fragrance oil, pure. A small bottle runs about $3 to $5, but you only need a tiny amount each time, so it lasts months. Yes, I said $1 earlier. Stay with me and I'll show you how to stretch it. Cotton balls. A big bag costs about $1. White vinegar, roughly $1 a bottle. Steel wool, caulk, or expandable foam, optional but powerful. Total cost for a full setup, under $10, and most of it lasts for months. Step 1, find the entry points. This is the step most people skip, and it kills the whole method. Go around your house, inside and outside, and look for any gap bigger than a 1/4 inch. A mouse can fit through a hole the size of a dime. Check around pipes under your sink. Check where your dryer vent goes through the wall. Check the gaps around your garage door. Check along the foundation where it meets the siding. Look for dark smudge marks along the wall, and that's mouse grease from their fur. Little brown pellets on shelves or in corners. Those tell you exactly where they're traveling. Mark every entry point you find. Write them down if you need to. Step 2. Seal what you can. Here's the key part most people miss. Peppermint oil repels mice. But if they have an easy way inside, a determined mouse will push through the discomfort to get to food and warmth. So you need to take away that easy option. Stuff steel wool into any gaps you found. Steel wool is critical here. Mice cannot chew through it. Then seal over it with caulk or expandable foam. This one step alone will cut your mouse problem by half, instantly. Step 3. Make your repellent bombs. Take your cotton balls and soak them. Really soak them, don't just dab them, with the peppermint oil. About 8 to 10 drops per cotton ball. Here's where the dollar stretching comes in. If you want to make the effect last longer and cover more area, mix the peppermint oil with a little white vinegar in a small spray bottle. About 15 drops of oil per cup of vinegar. Shake it well and spray it onto the cotton balls and directly into the corners, cracks, and crevices you found. The vinegar acts as a carrier and preservative. It keeps the peppermint active longer. And separately, mice also hate the smell of vinegar, so you're hitting them with a double punch. Step 4. Placement. This is everything. Place your soaked cotton balls in these locations. Every entry point you found, even the sealed ones. Belt and suspenders. Under the sink, front corners of the cabinet, behind the stove and refrigerator. In the attic, if accessible. Near the eaves. In your garage, near the door seams and any vents. In the basement, near the water heater and any pipe penetrations. Outside, around your foundation. Especially near downspouts and wood piles. Use at least 2 cotton balls per spot. Don't be stingy. Step 5. Refresh. Every 3 to 4 weeks, peppermint oil evaporates. That's the only real maintenance this requires. Every 3 to 4 weeks, re-soak the cotton balls or replace them. Takes about 10 minutes for a whole house. I set a reminder on my phone. 1st of every month. Done. A couple of warnings. 1. If you have cats or small dogs, use care. Peppermint oil is generally considered safe in open areas with ventilation, but keep concentrated cotton balls away from places pets might chew on them. Same with young children, just keep them out of reach. 2. If you already have an active infestation, meaning you're seeing mice daily or finding lots of droppings, the peppermint method alone won't clear them out fast enough. In that case, use snap traps first for a week or 2 to reduce the population, then deploy the peppermint system as your permanent prevention layer. Treat the infestation, then repel the future ones. So does it actually work? Here's my experience. I started using this method about 3 years ago. Before that, I was catching 2 to 3 mice per month in my garage from October through February, every fall, like clockwork. First year I used the full method, sealed the gaps, set the cotton balls, did the vinegar spray. I caught exactly 1 mouse the entire winter. And I'm pretty sure that one squeezed in before I got the sealing done properly. Second year, 0. Third year, 0. Now, I'm not the only one. I've talked to dozens of homesteaders and frugal living folks online who swear by this. Several people who switched from monthly exterminator contracts said they haven't had a mouse inside the house since starting this system. There's also real science behind it. Multiple studies on rodent behavior have found that the compound menthol, the active ingredient in peppermint, overwhelms the olfactory receptors in mice. Their sense of smell is their primary navigation tool. When you flood an area with a smell this intense, they avoid it completely. It's not painful for them, they just refuse to go there. Compare that to poison bait. Poison can create secondary poisoning risks for pets and wildlife. Snap traps kill 1 mouse at a time and have to be reset. This method creates a barrier, and barriers beat traps every time. Okay, here's that bonus I promised you. If you want to supercharge this whole system, add used cat litter, even if you don't own a cat. I know, sounds crazy, but it works. Mice are hardwired to fear predators. The smell of cat urine triggers a fear response in mice at a neurological level. Researchers at MIT actually studied this. It's instinctual. They can't override it. So what you do is this. Ask a friend who has a cat, or even check with the local shelter, for a small amount of used cat litter. Just a cup or 2. Put it in a breathable cloth bag or an old sock. Place those bags near the outside entry points of your home, particularly around the garage, shed, or foundation. The mice smell it, think there's a predator nearby, and they don't even try to come inside. Combine this with the peppermint method, and you've basically built an invisible wall around your house, one that mice actively choose not to cross. And that is the complete $1 Amish mouse trick. Seal, soak, and place. That's the whole system. If this video helped you out, do me a favor. Drop a comment down below. Tell me if you've tried peppermint oil before, or if you're going to try this method. I read every single comment, and I love hearing what works for you guys. And if you're new here, welcome. We cover all kinds of old school, frugal, and off-grid living tips that actually work. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Speaking of which, next week I'm covering something that blew my mind. A 200-year-old method for sealing gaps and cracks in your home that costs literally nothing, using something you probably throw away every week. It outperforms canned spray foam on certain applications. You won't believe it until you see it. I'll see you in that one. And remember, the old ways are old for a reason, because they work.